So Liverpool, how can Liverpool bounce back? How can Klopp, Jurgen Klopp, and those players, those a group of young and talented, but yet still old and not good enough players. How can they still save our season, and potentially how can they gain top four and Champions League spot for next season? I'm gonna take you through it step by step. So, first of all, we need to think about the mindset of these players at the moment. They feel frustrated, they know that they're at fault, they want to fix things. We know that they want to fix. They know that they want to fix these run of bad form. And the first thing that they should do is to bring about some positivity. Okay? Our manager need to calm down. Klopp needs to make them come together, hold a team meeting and say, boys, we're not at it this season. We're not good enough. And all I want to say is we need to be better than this, and that we should not focus and look back on all the bad results we have. Focus on now. Forget what happened yesterday. Focus on tomorrow. A positive mindset on every game that we approach will help and save our season tremendously. And now moving on to the midfield crisis. So currently our strongest midfield consists of Thiago Alcantara, Fabinho, and Jordan Henderson. How do we fix that midfield? First of all, those three of our strongest midfielders, all three are over the age of 30. And that shows that we need a bit of young talent in there. Throw in maybe someone like Stefan Bajcetic. I know he's young, but as I've been seeing recently in the Aston Villa game, he's showing the fight, he's showing the passion. In the Leicester game, showing the fight again. And I think if you're gonna start Jordan, if you don't want to start Jordan Henderson, and maybe give Stefan Bajcetic a run out, that would be great. Honestly, that would be really, really great. And I know he's a young player and all of that, but I feel like giving him the start in some of these games will definitely I feel like he could be the key to fixing our midfield. We'll have to see, but I might be wrong on this. But I feel like Stefan Bajcetic should be starting against Chelsea in a big game like this. I know that when we played Man City, it was hard on him because still it was a Carabao Cup game, but he was starting then. But I know that he took the Man City lesson as a way to get better and to know how to step up in these games. And if Klopp knows how to advise him, shows him the ways of how he can do well, he will definitely become a starting midfielder in that starting 11. Now we move on to the owner's situation. So FSG refusing to give Klopp the money that he needs to buy players that we desperately need, such as players like Jude Bellingham or Enzo Fernandez or Sofian Amrabat. All these midfielders that we have been linked with, but nothing's been going on, no bids, nothing. And then we get some news that Liverpool are reportedly preparing to have a 200 to 250 million transfer budget for this summer. And this is something that we have seen far too long with FSG. We spend a lot in the summer and we don't do as much in the January transfer window. It's the same during the COVID season, 20/21. Us Liverpool fans were begging Jurgen Klopp to sign a centre back. And what do we get? Loan deals. Ozan Kabak and Ben Davies. And both were quite simply not even good enough. Loans do not work for us. We need solid and concrete signings that can help us for the long-term period in the coming years. And right now, if FSG aren't going to do that and back Klopp with the money and the sales he needs to bring in a good midfielder, what's the point? What's the point? Obviously, we'll have to see if they are looking to sell. But right now, they will not, they won't, I'm not sure if they will want to sell, but definitely in the summer there will be speculation around whether they are going to sell the club. And yeah, moving on to, will Jurgen Klopp be sacked? No. And should he be sacked? No. I am saying this right now. Jurgen Norbert Klopp does not deserve to be sacked. Everything that he has done for this club, everything that he has led us to this point. He led us to taking us to the Champions League. He led us to our first year. We started off with the Europa League. And then started off with the Champions League. Our first Champions League in 14 years. And our first Premier League in over 30 years. And then we follow up the next season. It wasn't the best season because it was COVID season. It was not a good time for us. Following up the next season, winning the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and we still challenged for a quadruple. Still a great thing for Klopp to do. And to finish in second in that Premier League season, it's still a foot for Jurgen Klopp. I mean, with that midfield that we still have now, to be second is astonishing. And for that midfield right now to be eighth is also surprising. So, Jurgen Klopp just needs the backing from the owners. FSG need to give him the money he needs, and if they don't, I'm sorry, but it's time for them to go as well. I don't think it will be getting better in any ways. Yeah. And also, I think here's something else. I know people have been questioning Klopp's decision making and stuff like that in these past few games. How will we line up against Wolves? How will we line up against Chelsea? We have to believe in our manager. And if he's playing Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for a reason, it's for a reason. But we have seen this a lot of times already since the start of December. And we as fans need to show him that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is not the answer to our problems right now. And that we need someone else. We need young talent to show what they're all about. Manchester United this season, how have they been so good? How did they beat Manchester City yesterday? Alejandro Garnacho, 17-year-old Alejandro Garnacho, the young player that assisted Marcus Rashford in the second goal for Manchester United. Give these players a run out, really. Just give them a run out. Show them what they can do. Give them a bit of confidence. Just honestly, I respect to all Jordan Henderson, but honestly have Stefan Bajcetic start against Wolves because it's an FA Cup game. Put Jordan Henderson on the bench. Let him be an impact sub at this point because his body's not doing it and he can't play a full 90 minutes. And his passing has been not the best when we saw that Brighton game yesterday. But yeah, a lot of things that Liverpool need to fix in this January window. And we come to the final point, which is signings. We need signings right now. We need midfielders who can still show something for the season. And if Klopp is saying that that's it for this season, where will we go? Where do we go from there? Where do we go from there, really? But yeah, it's going to be hard. And the Real Madrid game is going to be even harder. And we're going to have to work a lot harder for that game. And if we want to win that game and if we want a spot for Champions League glory, the end goal is just probably winning the Champions League. And for that, We need a midfielder. And Jurgen Klopp needs to see who would be the best fit for our midfield, who would fix our midfield problems, give that bit of depth. And our starting midfielders right now become impact subs, which I think is a great idea. Bring in someone who's low, under the age of 30 and not above the age of 30, please. But yeah, a lot of things to look toward towards the end of this season. Yeah.